Whammy! I always wanted to do that with a mic. Anchorman reference? Well, anyways, welcome back to my channel. In case you're new here, this is my Road to Celestial video series where I went in a 15 game win streak, going from GM3 to Celestial 3 in one night. I ended with an 80% win rate in Grandmaster lobbies and a total of 66% win rate in the first half of Season 7. Before ending the halfway point, I was in the top 0.97%, all solo queue. I'll be giving tips and tricks and what I have learned along the way of climbing the ranks in Marvel Rivals. So in this game, we have some returning guests. They were my teammates in Game 3, and as promised, I'm going to face off against them. To watch that video, click the link at the end of the video. And for more tips and tricks, don't forget to like and subscribe. In this game, it was heavy comms, so I was talking a lot. Unfortunately, it is not live gameplay, but I do have other videos with live gameplay. And if you've seen them, you know how heavy I am on comms. So I have to coach my team in how to play against Penny, and this is in a Grandmaster lobby. Now, playing against Penny is not really that hard, but coaching your team and teaching them how to play against Penny live, that's hard. So the two people that I play with was Symmetrix and Sochi, if that's how you pronounce it. Leave a comment below if that's not how you pronounce it. Now, they were no shade to them. It was actually fun playing with them. So I have nothing but good things to say about how they played in the game I played with them. But you got to check out the video to see how he unfolded. So at this point, there's a little bit of communication every time you're picking character. If you notice, the Doctor Strange in our team hasn't actually picked him, officially picked him. And in part, I think they do that often when they say Scarlet Witch, because they want to play like Strange, but they don't want a Scarlet Witch on the team. It could just be he went and, I don't know, had to go to the bathroom. And he has nothing to do with that. At this point, it could just be paranoia from a Scarlet Witch player. Okay, but I'm going to fast forward to the actual gameplay, so we'll be back in a quick second.
I know. Look.
So once you start the actual gameplay, you want to keep track of the characters you're playing against. So you're seeing the scene first. I noticed Penny off by itself, and I thought with a team up I could just like melt her. But you don't want to step in her webs, obviously. And even if you get too close to her webs, they will actually track you. So about like I want to say like literally, I don't know, an inch away from the nest. Now from the web. But one of the first things you want to do is kill the nest. That's the first thing. I couldn't find it right away, and then when I saw it was a really weird setup where she doesn't even have her webs on point. So I'm just pointing her out because I think we could kill her out of it without having to destroy the nest, like right there. But White Fox chased her into the webs and died instantly. And I remember coaching them and screaming at them like, don't jump in the webs. And so then I remember, turning on the comms at this point and being like, guys, we don't need to play on her webs. So the thing is, White Fox went into melee form. So I tried to chase her down to get that last hit on Penny. That's what Penny wants you to do. That's how you don't play against Penny. She wasn't even taking up space that we needed to fight for all that much. So I think at that point, I'm thinking, okay, so they're going to have a hard time playing against Penny. So I'm just going to play a little safer, and the healers are kind of not really staying in position. And that happens a lot with White Fox players, where they play a little more frontline, since they could do a little more DPSing with White Fox. But a good White Fox would know when to do that and when to be next to her other healer. In that case, the fight got completely separated. So that's a bad example, so don't do that. If you're a White Fox, don't chase down Penny in her webs. And also, if you notice, Penny stacked with the Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger was pocket healing her the whole time. So I was playing a little more cautiously there to make sure I don't die to the nest. So this is our second push. And again, I'm trying to kind of look for the nest, but I noticed she's not even putting the nest in a place that's that important. She's playing really timid. And I noticed no heals, so I peel back. And now look how long it takes for... Look at my cloak. I'm looking at my cloak. And at this point, no shade to my cloak player, but at this point you start collecting data. Like, where are they? Clearly I was at a slight angle. She could clearly see me. She didn't heal me until I stand in front of her. So now I know my healers are not going to heal anything outside their line of sight directly in front of the line of sight. Now, if you know me, you track ults. I saw Star-Lord. I know I have ult and I know I died. So I know he's going to have it. So I'm calling out the Star-Lord ult and I'm letting everyone know he's going to ult soon. And I say we either take cover or save your flight, Doctor Strange, so that you could block his attack. So that was something to keep in mind, and I was about to kill him, so I was pinging him. And that's going to be important later on. This is all in comms. This is what I was telling them. Now here, they're the ones that have to make the play, which is a lot harder for Penny to do. And if you notice, I keep looking to my right, because I know, see now, he ulted. And for some reason, Doctor Strange wasted his ult to stop him when he could have just blocked them with the shield. And I got the kill, but then they didn't heal me, and White Fox was right next to me. So it was really like I'm starting to notice this team is gonna have to be kind of a hard carry here. And now we're completely staggered. And if you notice, White Fox is one of the first people to die in almost every team fight. And it doesn't seem like the healers are really healing each other. So it's kind of easy to pick us apart once they get one of our healers. So now, a couple things I'm collecting data on. My healers won't really heal too much at an off angle. So maybe I need a character with more survivability. So at this point, I'm already thinking of switching, but I pinged that I had ult and I asked Doctor Strange to do the portal trick. And this is very important. If you want to get use at a Scarlet Witch ult, you have to communicate it. It's a team effort. It could do a lot of good if your whole team is backing you up in your ult. I got a kill there, so it wasn't that big. Everyone just kind of spread out, and maybe they saw the trick, or they thought, they anticipated the trick, and so I only ended up getting Iron Fist. Notice, I was very cognizant of my backline. I was trying to protect them, but they're dying so easily that tells me that they're not healing each other. So, but I think in the beginning of that fight, White Fox already died. And again, White Fox just keeps dying. The first one to die. This one I get out strange, but I see that it's one of those where it's like, okay, there's not much I could do here, and this character's not working because my healers are not gonna heal, outside the main line of sight. And then at this point, we White Fox, but they have the cloak ult, so there was no way we were gonna win that team fight. And you can just witness our demise. Just watch everyone die slowly from a distance. And I'm seeing the kill feed, and so I'm like, okay, something's gonna have to change here. And so this is when I decided to switch to Mr. Fantastic. So now that I collected the data in the first round, I know my healers are not gonna heal off angle, and they're not doing a good job of healing. So I need someone with a little more survivability. Now, if you notice, the opponents are not making a good job of making space. They're eventually getting kills, but Penny's playing very timid, and she was kind of like at an off angle where she was actually in an area that was not even necessary for us to contest. So what I need to do as Mr. Fantastic is survive the fights, get the play very safe, and get the kills only when I see a good opportunity. And as long as we capture point, we're gonna have a much easier time, because Penny has a much harder time getting point, as opposed to, she has a much harder time making space as opposed to holding space. She's good at holding space, not making space. And that's what makes her like a weird tank, and people have a hard time playing her because they don't know her like strengths and weaknesses. So it's much harder to gain point than to actually maintain point with Penny. So I want to get to point as soon as possible so I can stop them from setting up the nest. Now, if you notice, Penny set up the nest in a place that didn't even matter. But notice I'm not diving them yet and putting too much pressure. I just want to hold this choke point right here. We basically won the point for free because if you notice, they just didn't move in because Penny was too busy going at an off angle. So she didn't contest point at all. And now I'm going after the healers. And like that, I got the Jeff kill. So notice in this first team fight, what added the most value right now is that I got Jeff killed right away. And Penny was just off to the side doing her own thing. So it was kind of easy to counter that. But that's all because I collected data on the first round. So now I'm thinking to myself, I kill Cloak, and now Cloak and Jeff are completely staggered. So I'm thinking to myself, I need to kill Jeff quickly, and that actually will add a lot of value. So here we go, and so then I decide to ult here. Now my team was also very timid, and they didn't move up with me at all, which is fine. I figure it's still going to be a lot of value, because now they're staggered. And then it's going to take longer for them to actually even contest points. So if you notice, at this point, we already have 40% of the point in the barely about to contest for the first time. Now, I don't know how this happened, but Thor insta-dies. I don't know how when they're still pushing with a Penny to trying to recapture a point. So now, again, we haven't lost point. Now watch this. Like perfect intangible things I'm doing. Notice we were about to lose point because everyone moved back to help out my healers. Now if you notice, my healers are playing so afraid every time they get dived, they actually separate from the team, which makes them way more unsafe. But you notice at this point we have not lost point. But Dark Strange got off a point trying to peel back for the healers, and then Dark Strange died behind me. Now, I helped facilitate get the first 40% of the point, but now since I'm back, and I'm not dying, and I was the one holding point, now we got another 40%. So this is tremendous value. This is where a lot of people, you can't see this in stats. But I basically captured the point because of my plays at this point 92. I think I get up to 95 or something. And they had to use the Cloak ult. So we actually get to 99% from those two intangible things you do. So remember, this game is not about getting kills. This game is about the point. Now, if you know the priorities I set up for DPSing, your top priority as DPS is to hold point. Now, Mr. Fantastic, you get to play him kind of like a tank, and this is where I'm starting to do some of the responsibilities of my tank, like maintaining point. See, Thor got at a point right now, and we're about to give away point for free. If that fight was on point, we'll continue having point right now until we die. Those are the moments to die in point. But they basically just gave them free percentage there. Before they all died, they actually already got point. So never give away point for free there. It's better to die on point and actually use resources to get it. Now here in the comms, I'm actually telling them to not stagger. And they actually listen. So this was great. Like, I love saying this when I'm actually on comms, even though they're not talking, no one else is talking. But at least they're reacting to my comms. And that actually has a lot of value. So now I know, now it's going to be a little harder to recapture point. Mr. Fantastic has similar issues. His damage is really weak. Survivability is strong. But since his damage is kind of weak, it's hard to just get an instant pick with him. So it takes a little more neutral and finesse to get that first pick to actually facilitate the team fight being won. Now here, one of the things you could do with Penny, like notice I went in my little blow up fish form, whatever you want to call that. And then I went on the webs. Because once you get rid of that set of mines, it takes more time for the mines to set up more little mines. The nest to set up more mines. So in that case, basically the nest became useless because I destroyed them in that blow up form, and I still had my my invisibility frames to go to if I saw that the mines were coming straight at me. Now, unfortunately, there we still did not capture point. So it's starting to get a little intense. I'm still on comms. I'm still telling them not to stagger. At this point, we kind of trickle in there. Now it's getting a little trickier because we don't have much time. And now this is what's most important. Dr. Strange does a good job here. Notice we were about to loot. They were about to get point right around here. And this is why one of your responsibilities as a tank. He touched point right there to get the overtime. Perfectly timed. He did great there, Dr. Strange. And I was also going for point there. So we were both kind of synced up there. Then he lands the fat ult. And remember, play around point, especially as a tank. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I have a tanking account as well and a healing account. All of them are Grandmaster and above. But this is gonna be good tips also for tanks. You wanna be the person that takes the damage to maintain point. So you gotta keep track of the timer in the top. You right before they get to 99%, you want to be able to actually touch so that they don't get so you get overtime. Now there they wasted the Cloak and Dagger ult. She ulted there. She actually tried to stay on point, but she had to get out of point because it goes in a straight line, and she traveled a little too far. And because we stopped them from getting out the portal, that actually facilitated the win on that round. So now at this point, I noticed the biggest flaw in that last round, the second round, was that my healers back up too much when they're getting dived by Thor. So at this point now, even though how we got the point in the first team fight was because I dived the backline, I basically got the healers. I'm also more hesitant here because I noticed they kind of break apart because the healers tend to separate from each other and then separate from the team, making it very easy for the Thor on the other team to pick off our healers. So now I'm cognizant of that. I'm going to have to peel back a little bit more to make sure they're not getting dived by Iron Fist and Thor. And if you watch the video where I break this down, the three main priorities of the DPS player is number one, to get kills. Number two, and number two, watch out for the flank. So don't let the other players be on the flank and doing damage free. And number three is to protect your healers. That sometimes takes the most precedence if you notice that they're actually a good dive team is playing against them and they're dying to the dive. Now here, if you notice, I'm playing for point. We're about to get points. I want to kill Iron Fist as fast as possible, because if we don't kill him, this whole fight we're never going to be getting point. But now because I pressure him right now, this whole fight, even if we lose it, we're right now getting percentage of the point. So a lot of people sometimes just move up to try to wipe out the team, which is good. But if they would have played outside the ult and then we didn't get the kills, and then Iron Fist just maintain point or didn't cap point but stopped us from capping point, that whole fight, that's time lost not getting the percentage. And so if you notice here, playing a lot more safer, but they're the ones that have to do the play. And you notice how much of a harder time Penny has to make space. So like that, we just combo ult. I decided to explore the top part of the tree for no good reason. My bad on that, but I got a kill, so you don't tell me. Now I see, you notice I went right back to my healers because I know Iron Fist is going after them. And like that, I just smacked them in the butt. And now I'm just doing the intangibles and I'm just doing smart damage. I'm doing damage so they can get points. I'm not feeding their healing ults. And just to pressure them from even trying to make space. And then I'm also protecting my backline and got the kill so to not let Iron Fist to play there for free. So now the fight, look how much smoother it is. First round we lost. Second one became a bit of a toss-up, but I addressed the issues and then that got us the second round. And then this third fight is becoming a lot easier just because of addressing the intangibles. Notice I'm not letting the Thor play for free. In the last round he was getting away with some kills here and there, but now he's a much tougher. He's having a much tougher time. Now here they ulted one of the main priorities when you see a rocket ult is to shoot at it. If you're the only one shooting at it and it's too far from the line of sight of the rest of the team, it's best to actually peel back with your team. So that's what I was trying to do. Because at that point, I don't have enough damage to destroy the ult by myself. What we all tried to do, rightfully so, was to just go behind the tree where they don't get much out of that ult. But ideally, if your whole team has line of sight on that ult, shoot at the rocket ult. Don't let it hang out there. It makes the fight a lot easier. Now notice, now the Penny mines are actually moving up. Now we have to contest with those. So now I'm destroying them right away. That's the first thing you do, especially as a DPS. Shoot the nest. Don't let it hang out there. Now notice how Penny backs up, but their Cloak and Dagger ulted, but now they're way back there. Actually, my bad. That was our Cloak and Dagger, actually. No, I'm gonna be wrong. Actually, that was theirs, but they back up too much. So they were playing timid. So I took advantage of that. Actually, if you notice, Penny backed up, Namor backed up, and their Cloak ulted, our Cloak ulted, and they were not there contesting point at all. And they backed up. So now the flaws that I pointed out earlier, that where they were playing too timid, it's actually costing them the game. And just like that, if you address intangibles, you win games. Do it with comms, and you're gonna increase the odds of winning. I guarantee it. You're gonna like it. Now, to recap, the 3 main points: address intangibles, play for point, and collect data. Now, if any of these tips help you out, please comment down below. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, check out the video where I played against the Penny and Cloak and Dagger on the opposite team. That video is a lot of fun, I promise. Check it out. GG's and goodbye.